Good morning, hello, how are you? Welcome back to another video. I'm Ash and today we are going crystal hunting and in specifically sapphire hunting. Today I've made my way to the beautiful area around Glen Innes in the New England region in New South Wales. This area is famed for its sapphires and high mineral deposits within the rivers and the landscape around us. So today we're going to try our luck at finding it. So this area is known for its sapphires in particular. I've personally never fossicked for gems in rivers with a pan. I'm going to try that for the first time today. I have done a bit of research, but because I haven't done this before or I'm not completely familiar with the region and where the best locations are, I am going on what's publicly available online. I might be able to get a better feel for it now that I'm here and begin to see the landscape, but let's get to it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and stick around to see what I find. So I'm all packed up and ready to go. For this Fossicking adventure, I've actually grabbed some gumboots and some stainless steel pans. Oh, let me just check that off the car. I'm always so bad with that. Who else is really bad with remembering weather? Or just being paranoid about looking at a car. It's definitely me. So I've got all my gear strapped to the back of me. Because I do drive a non-4-wheel drive car, because my car is a little bit smaller than needed for this road, I'm actually walking the length of it. So this is the region. It's beautiful. It's still in the granite belt, but it's known as Celtic Country and very famed for its sapphires. Currently, we are located about 20 kilometers out of Glen Innes town itself on some of the back roads. Now this is supposedly a designated fossicking area, so I shouldn't have too many issues. There isn't phone reception here. So if you do want any information on the area while you're here, I would highly recommend downloading it before you come. The dirt road that I came in on was quite dodgy. I'm quite a confident dirt road driver, but yeah, pothole mazes is what I call it. So I'm leaving my car just up there. I usually like having my car directly near me. I don't know, safety, whatever, but this should be fine. Down here is supposedly the fossicking area. We've just made it to our first location. This is located about 20 kilometers out of Glen Innes itself. As I said before, these locations are available online if you do a bit of research. I simply googled Glen Innes Fossicking and a lot of different resources come up, so I'd highly recommend, if you do want to find areas like this, go online, spend an hour or two, find your different locations and just compare different notes, go through Lapidatory forum posts, and that's how I find these different locations. So as you can see behind me, we're in a river area. Now, this is the easiest place to find gems, especially sapphires. They are in with the rubble and they do like to settle. They're heavier than a lot of other stones that you'll find of the same size. So they are heavier and they do drop to the bottom in lull points in the river. So you have a big boulder and then behind that big boulder you'll have a bit of a low pressure point, and that's where a lot of them will be deposited. Now I'm looking around the river and I can see a few places that could fit this description. That doesn't necessarily mean that they exist there or that they're located there. First thing I'm going to do is take off my jewelry because it'll get lost in the river like this. And secondly, I'm going to put on my gum boots because although I have my hiking boots on, I really don't want them to get wet because I am aiming to hit a few locations today. This is my first time doing it. I don't know what I'll find. I have no expectations. I just want to be out here in this beautiful landscape on this perfect day. I actually can already see as well, people have started to burrow into the bank, which is, so this whole area would have originally been a floodplain, so a big river during overbank events, and during the receding waters, that's when a lot of material is deposited. And as I said before, sapphires are heavier. So if you do look in some of your floodplain cross sections, you can tend to find a lot of mineral deposits. So I might also give that a look at later. Let's get to it. So before we even start fossicking today, I want to do a walk around the site, see if there's any major issues that I might encounter, any dangers that I might come across. Now, we're at the beginning of winter, we're in autumn right now, so the likelihood of snakes is low, however, not impossible. So I'm just going to have a look around, see if I can see anything that might cause issue. And what I have noticed initially off the beat is that people have been digging in here. So you can actually see, and I'll show you on the other riverbank more closely, there is old fluvial or river deposits from old riverbeds. That's a really good spot to look for mineralization. I also see that this must be a decent spot because people have created dams, and this is to create low pressure points behind here to accumulate hopefully some sapphires. So I might actually be onto a decent site here. I'll take a walk across. Oh, I really should put on gumboots for this. Might come back and wear my gumboots, but again, people are looking in here. This is actually probably someone's old pan they've upturned. You're looking for darker little stones, and they should have some sort of translucency. But look at this. This looks like quite a prime spot. So here's another spot which we can see people have been digging. So what they'll probably do is they'll dig and then they'll pan to see whether there's any deposits. On initial inspection there's nothing much, but you never know. You'll see these darker clays. You can actually see the banding there from previous rivers. But I'll show you on the other side. I saw this immediately when I came in. You can see the banding. So you can actually see the banding from your higher flow events and your lower flow events. So as soon as the energy drops, all of your big stones like these cobbles will be dropped. And then as the energy regime wanes, so as the river becomes less and less strong, you'll get finer sediments like this dropping. I mean, the goal is to find a massive sapphire of this sort of size, but will it happen? Probably not. It's more likely going to be this size or smaller. Now I've got the gumboots on, so now I can easily cross these rivers, which is a lot safer to do. Now this is a lot deeper part of the river, so there won't be any deposits in that. You see how fast the water flow is? That's a really strong current, so you're not going to get any deposited material there. However, in areas like this, you might. So I might get my stuff and give it the first go. Now, I haven't even started with my panning, but you can actually see flecks of gold. You see that? Where the light catches it, or there we are. Yeah, flecks of gold. I didn't actually bring any gold panning things, so I don't know what to do with that. It's cool though. Just breaks away. Or it might be pyrite, I'm not sure. I need to do a float test. But I'm going to start with my first pan. So, I've done my first shovel into here. So what you do, grab your trowel, try to get some gravels, pop it in this top one. Now this top one is a 1/4 inch pan. So that will make sure that you get all of these larger stones. Now the chances of actually getting a gemstone that big are quite low. However, it's not impossible. It's this one that you tend to find a lot of the gems in. Now, I haven't gotten enough in it. It's my first time doing it, but I might get a bit of, oh! Wait a second. No. So, I need a lot more in it than here. Can you see that? A lot more in it than here. But what you do is, there's a technique, and I saw this online, I've never done it. But you do this when there's a lot of it in it, and the heavier material goes to the middle, and then you flip it upside down, and you tend to find all your heavier stones in the bottom there. give this a few goes and checking back with you guys in a bit. So I've been going for about half an hour now, and I've decided to come and get my head torch because now I was seeing a lot of dark material, and in one of the videos this guy put on YouTube, I'll try and link him down below if I can still find him, he was looking for dark material. Now I hadn't thought to, like, I was looking, but I wasn't looking until I saw this. Oh god, I hope I don't drop it. You see that? I think that's either a green sapphire, and the thing is, oh, this might not be good for the camera. You see that? If this doesn't come out well, see, look at that. Oh, that's my first find. So I've just got this little Ziploc bag. I think the others are just like quartz, but I'm not sure, so I'm going to keep them. But now what I'm going to do, oh, I can't believe that they're a green sapphire, but oh my goodness, and that's perfect for like a ring or something. So I'm going to take this so then I can put it as a backlight behind all of the pulls that I do. So if I do find something like that, just blinded me. So I've already done like the shaky shake thing. I don't think I'm game to do the upending thing like I saw this other guy do on YouTube, just because I feel like I can't pick the gems out. Exhibit A, I only found that out of luck. Once I've got my technique down pat, that's when I'll show you. So I'm going to try this method. Okay, it may look a bit funky right now, but I think I've got enough of the technique down pat. Let me show you how I've been doing it. It's not a way I've seen before. It might be a completely wrong way, but it's been working for me. Let me show you. So, first things first, I found a still place. That should be where a lot of minerals are deposited during the flow. It should make it easier to find them. Now what you're looking for is a coarse gravel. Too fine, it'll go through the sieve. Too coarse, it's too hard to do. So let's go get a sieve worth. This is why you have gumboots, so you can actually go into the water and dig up a lot more easily. This is my flashlight. I'll show you how to use that later. So, oh, the light isn't very good. Top one for coarse material, bottom one for finer material. Sieve them out and see how we go. Ooh. That is not what you're looking for. That sort of gravel is what you're looking for. And then you get water in your gumboots anyway. So this is what we're looking for. This is the texture of material we're looking for. Now the reason we choose an inlet like this is the main water flow goes down here. That's where your major channel is. So you want to go either side of it. Now over there looks really, really coarse. So that tells me that a lot higher flow will be there. However, around this bend here should be some smaller stuff. So yeah, and for any of you river nerds out here, the preferential flow, now it does split in two. So the major thalweg is that way and the minor thalweg is this way. A thalweg is basically the main channel. So minor thalweg going down there, major thalweg going that way. Now we can automatically take these ones out. Makes it a lot easier come sifting time. Because this riverbed is quite cobbly, it sometimes can be harder, so you just kind of feel around and feel where there's some gravel. You can also see the pyrite floating in the water if you can see it there. So pyrite is also known as fool's gold. It looks like gold, but it floats. Gold will not float. Hence why when you pan in an actual gold pan, all the gold will stay in the bottom of the pan and all of the pyrite will float out. Still pretty though. Whew, okay, for the purpose of demonstration, let's just go with this. So, I already know that a lot of this is not going to fit in the pan. Oh, let's get you guys at the right angle. I already know a lot of this is not going to fit in the pan. So we go like this. Up, up, and down again. Now, for you guys on the big camera, not the little camera, the big one, you'll be able to see that we now have a really coarse pan. So, what we can do, if I can get this, what we can do is we sort through it. So, I'm looking for anything that is minerally, not rocky, basically. Now you do get some slight silica minerals here, but that's really not what we're looking for. You can see some quartz here, but again, not what I'm looking for on this strip. Nothing really that's taking my fancy. So stop that there. Don't put it back in the river, otherwise you're just going to be digging up exactly what you've already used. So, let's go ahead with this one. This is where I'll probably find something. So again, oh, now I haven't got a lot in this pan, and there's a reason for that. Now I'm gonna try and get this as flat as possible. That is different how a lot of other people do it. If you guys can see me here, what I'm going to do, and this might be one for the GoPro crew, I'm gonna shine the torch through it. So, we're looking for colours. We're just looking for colours. Now I find it's easiest done when in the shade and down at an angle. And already we can see there. So right there, you can see, is a green little gem. Now, so for you guys here, oh again, I'm not going to be able to show it. I will show you guys back at home properly, but it's a little green sapphire. So what I do, always carry a little bag for an easy find. All the locals are going past, and that's what I found so far on this trip. I'll go through a fully detailed version of it later, but yep, let's get going with it. Probably go on the time lapse with this one. Also, you'll get a wet bum. The pants that I'm wearing are actually quick dry ones that I used to have during field trips, so yeah. Again, just making this as flat as we can and going through it. Now I always do a couple of trawls because, oh, there we are. Sure enough, there's another little one. So it's amazing what the eye doesn't pick up, but this camera does. Again, what we're doing is we're getting this, going like that, and going through, finding any of that colour. I do find by putting it on an angle, it's less straining on my eyes, and it imitates the angle of the sun more, which actually can make it a lot easier to find the hidden gems. Still looking for a really decent sized one though, or a blue sapphire. I still haven't gotten the blue sapphire. What I then go ahead and do, upend it, and have one more quick look. So right now I've come to a new spot and I'm just seeing a whole bunch of gravels here, and it should be in a low flow, a low pressure point because it is protected. It's being carved out, but let's see. This is a new spot for me. I wonder whether it will prove fruitful. At the end of the day, I'm very happy with what I got from the other spot, so I don't need to be greedy. So I'm the first time doing it. So again, this will probably be a better angle for you, but this is the sort of gravel that we want. I try and avoid some of the big stuff because it's just annoying to get out, and it's not like, well, if it was a crystal, you'd be able to see it. Okay, let's see what that goes. My arm's tired, so are my legs. So I've actually just come to a new place. And I know the GoPro won't pick this up, but I've actually gotten my biggest one yet. It's still green though. Where are my blue sapphires at? Like, hello? Blue sapphires, please come to me. Oh well. We're gonna go through this pan and see what we can find. So, I think the last time I spoke to you guys, I was still out on site looking for the sapphires. I was going to go to a second location around Glen Innes, however I have realised how late in the day it is and I probably won't have time as night seems to be getting earlier and earlier now. But that means I have plenty of places to go and visit in the future. So on that note, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed expanding my fossicking techniques and really pushing myself in terms of my comfort zone with it. I ended up finding quite a few gems. So with that being said, I will talk to you guys when I've cleaned them up, cleaned myself up and gone through them. So I'll talk to you guys soon with an update. Okay, let's take a look at some of the rocks that I found on this fossicking adventure. Let's kick off with some of the more common ones and ones that you typically find in other rivers, and that's our quartz family. So here you can see our white or classic quartz, pretty recognizable. The clarity on this one is actually really nice, and I more took it as an example of what you can find in a lot of your local rivers if you just want to have a quick look. Now here we can also see some carnelian. Looking at the honey and peach colours on there, again something that you can find within a lot of local rivers across a lot of the east coast of Australia. Now let's move on to something a little bit more special. Okay, moving on to our zircons and also our topazes. Now we'll start with the clearer ones first. These are what's called your white topaz. So they're super clear, high clarity, and really pretty in the sunlight. You'll see how they look almost transparent and invisible behind this white light. They're quite common and a good find for the area. Some of these slightly darker ones I expect will be zircons. Now, to actually tell whether they're a zircon or a topaz is quite hard, but from the location and the description and looking at the different lapidary forums, my best guess is that these ones are zircons, because if they were honey topaz, that would be an incredibly rare find. I'll happily take it, but if somebody watching this video is better at identifying these different crystals better than I am, please drop a comment down below. I'd love to know what you guys spot and what you guys think. And looking at these three up the back, they're a lot darker than the rest. Now these are your darker zircons. They do have the colour of some smoky quartz, but the clarity is so amazing and the fracture points are just too small to be a smoky quartz. So these ones will be your darker zircons. And now for the main event, the green sapphires that I found. Remember how I was trying to show you guys that small little rock on the camera out in the field and I got super excited? Well, that's one of these rocks. Now some of these green sapphires are so dark that the light at this angle to the camera doesn't actually pick up the colour in them. And you see how dark they are. Remember how I was saying to you that the dark wash within the river sometimes can be mistaken for gravels? And that's why I decided to get the head torch out rather than just trust my naked eye? Well, it's for this reason. Now, if you shine the light on these particularly dark rocks, you'll see that they are this deep emerald green. It's so beautiful and I was so excited to find my first few. These lighter ones, these olive green, are still green sapphires, but they're just a lot easier to see from this angle. I'm super happy with the rocks that I found. Unfortunately, I didn't find anything larger, but you know what? There's always another adventure to go on. They're just so pretty. This one particularly has the loveliest shade of green, and this one was actually the first rock that I found. Well, green sapphire that I found. I can't tell you how excited I was. I genuinely did not expect to find this one, and I'm just so happy that I did and took the opportunity to come out and find these beautiful things. So that brings us to the end of this fossicking adventure around Glen Innes in the New England region of New South Wales, Australia. I am so happy I went out and did that. It's the first time I've actually panned for any crystals. Usually I just go and noodle within the creeks. So I was so happy that I actually found some really cool zircons and topazes and green sapphires. It still remains the question, I need to find a blue sapphire. I feel like that's now going to be on my bucket list for what I want to find in the future, but I'm just so grateful that I can and do have the ability to do this. and I hope you guys enjoyed seeing how to fossick as a beginner around some really cool places in New South Wales. Stay tuned, I hope to make many more of these sort of videos, including my other hikes. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate if you guys interacted with it. Leave me a comment on what sort of minerals you thought they were and what you'd love to find. Also, any really cool places that you know around New South Wales or Queensland or any other part of Australia for that matter. I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe to my channel, as it really supports me and helps me understand what you guys want. And I hope to see you in my next video.